What's up guys, it's all Anthony and welcome back to the CRZ vlog that you hopefully know and will eventually love once it's gone, because in today's video we're giving the CRZ its first and last exterior detail. Let's go. Alright guys, so today's video is a little bittersweet because we are going to be putting a bow on the Honda CRZ project. Now, as you guys know, I love this car and I'm so sad to see it go, but I'm looking forward to a bright future for the next car build here on the channel. Now, the Honda CRZ, we already went through and detailed the interior of this thing and really brought it back to life. Everything from the carpets to the seats to the plastics and dressing everything and getting this thing prepped for sale. And honestly, the interior looks awesome. I think that's one of the most important parts when it comes to selling a car. People are going to judge you by your interior, so make sure it looks awesome. Now, as far as the exterior on the CRZ, it's kind of funny because on camera, I'm sure you guys see this and say, Anthony, it looks, pretty good, but we're gonna make this thing look so much better with a polish and a ceramic coat. Now, as far as things that need improving paint-wise on the car, the Mugen kit really added a lot of life to this thing and added some new paint as well, but I want to make sure that the rest of the paint looks just as good. So going through and polishing out the doors, the rear quarters, the rear bumper, the mirror, the bumper, fenders, all of that that's not wrapped is going to make a huge difference on this car. Now again, the roof is wrapped in Avery Dennison gloss black, but I will be polishing over that because I'm going to be coating that as well, and I want to prep that. And the wrap goes all the way back to the hatch right here. And then the hood with the carbon wrap, again, it's not my favorite, but it's better than the paint that's underneath, at least I think personally. However, when I go to sell this car, I can ask the potential new owner if they would like me to take it off or whatever, but honestly, I don't think it looks that bad. Now, at the time of this video right now that you're watching, this car may already be for sale or be sold. I have no idea, because after I finish polishing it and finishing the exterior, I am going to be listing it on Facebook Marketplace. I'm also going to be letting everybody know on social media that the car is officially for sale, and then during that time, I'm going to try to film one last final video with the car. So just keep that in mind. It may already be gone, or it may not be gone, and you might have a chance to buy my Honda CRZ. So today, what are we doing? Exterior detail, polish, ceramic coating, all of that. Now, what goes into this? Well, we're gonna treat today kind of like a cooking show where they're making a recipe, but they kind of already have one made just for time's sake. So last night I went through and did all the preparation work for the CRZ before the polish, which included the engine bay detail, which actually turned out quite amazing. And then from there, we knocked out an exterior wash and chemical decontamination using a fallout remover, going through with brushwork and all that fancy stuff and getting this thing all cleaned up. And then following that, we went through and clay toweled the car using a clay towel and a lubricant, and went through and removed any type of contamination to make sure that the surface was as smooth as glass before taking a polisher to it. But in order for us to go forward with the polishing, we technically need to go back in time where I filmed all of that. So go grab your popcorn, sit back, relax, and enjoy the montage. And just like that, we are back and ready to party with an exceptionally clean engine bay and a prepped CRZ. This thing turned out freaking phenomenal. I cannot believe how good this engine looks. It just goes to show that a little bit of love goes a long way. A little bit of water, a little bit of all-purpose cleaner, some brush agitation, rinse it, and then some hyper dressing. I mean, guys, seriously, this looks so freaking good. I'm so pumped with how this thing turned out, and I think the new owner will be pumped with this as well. I know some people get a little freaked out about introducing water to an engine bay, but trust me guys, I know what I'm doing. I've been doing this for a long time. Other than that though, everything's been prepped, right? So the paint's ready to go for polishing. I mean, literally, I clayed it, and now we're ready to jump in with the machines. Now the wheels turned out pretty good. I didn't do a wheels off detail, nothing super crazy, but I will be going through, dressing the tires, dressing the fender wells, cleaning up any type of residual stuff that was kind of left over. But for stock wheels, I think that they're going to be okay. Other than that though, there was really no other major hiccups. The kit's holding up extremely well, and yeah, I'm just excited to take a machine to it and jump in. So I'm going to show you guys what I'm using today. Alright, so over here to the product corner, things I'm going to be using today are all things I've used in previous detailing videos. I'm not going to go crazy in depth talking about every single little thing because I've already done that before with the red Civic detail, which was like a 3-day event, and the video is great. So check that out if you haven't watched my red Civic detail where I ceramic coat it and explain things in excruciating detail like I typically do. We're not going to do that today. So what I'm using, Rupes LHR 15 Mark II. I'm using some wool pads as well as some yellow foam pads. I'm not going to do a 2-step correction necessarily, but I'm going to try to do the best I can with what I got. And then I have the Last Cut compound, which is my go-to, as well as some Optimum Hyper Polish really to gloss it out. I also have my Porter Cable 7424, my old tried and true that I'm using with 3-inch pads to get into some of the tighter areas. I also have my little toothbrush hybrid nano polisher that's over there in the corner. I got it charging up right now. And then after we go through compound polish and hopefully remove a lot of swirls, scratches, and things like that, because I honestly don't think this thing's ever been detailed, then we're going to come through with the ceramic coating. So for this, I'm going to use G-Technic C1 Crystal Lacquer and then top it off with G-Technic EXO. Also, if you're new to the channel and didn't know, I'm kind of obsessed with detailing, hence why I have all of my detailing chemicals, all of my tools, all my products, things like that. And this is the stuff that makes the biggest difference, and I cannot emphasize that enough. I get a lot of questions on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, all of that, saying, Anthony, you know, how are your cars so clean? Like, what do you do to make them so clean? Today, what I'm doing today makes it so clean. This is what I do to make these cars look the way they do in photos and in videos and things like that. And the kids will be like, oh no dude, it's gotta be those wheels that's making the red pop. It's not the wheels making the red pop, it's me making the red pop with what I'm doing today. And now this blue is gonna be popping as well. Now before we jump into the polishing, there's one thing that I wanna knock out first, and that's these headlights. These headlights already oxidized again, hence why they kind of have this yellow tinge to them that is definitely been bothering me, so we got to fix that. So what I'm going to use today is something that I didn't really want to have to use, but I think this is going to be my best bet. So the Cerakote Ceramic Headlight Restoration Kit. This is something that is going to be a little bit stronger than a normal ceramic coating, and it's going to protect them from oxidizing because it's essentially a wipe-on clear coat. Not really a big fan of them, but I think it's going to be in the best interest of this car since the clear coat that's left on the headlights is not a lot and it's already looking kind of bad. So we're going to be sanding those, knocking that out, and then kind of making a mess before we clean up everything else with the polishing. So let's jump into it. Alright guys, so I just finished up with the Cerakote headlight coating on the CRZ, and it turned out pretty good. I would say like 6.5 out of 10. I think this stuff works in a pinch, and I think it works for people who really don't know how to restore headlights, and they'll be happy with them. But for me, myself personally, with how crazy I am, I know I could do 10 times better with my traditional method. It's just I'm looking for something that will hold up, and so their particular coating does hold up for quite a long time. So I think it'll do the job for now. So while this is curing over here, I'm gonna start knocking out the sides of the car and the rear of the car, as well as the roof. And then once this kind of sets up a little bit more, we'll be able to start polishing out the front here and knock that out. So anyways, with that said, I'm not gonna be doing a ton of talking in this. I'll kind of chime in from time to time, but for the most part, it is 94 degrees in my garage right now with 116 outside. That's not 100% accurate outside. It's like 108 today, or 105 today. And so I'm not gonna do a whole lot of talking. I gotta get a lot of work done. So enjoy the footage. I'll chime in from time to time. Let's get this thing polished. Hold on, 1 sec, sorry. So I went a little crazy a little bit because I was about to polish out the roof there, and I kept walking past the headlights thinking, wow, these look like just not good. 6.5 out of 10 is not what I do, man. So this is the headlight here that we Cerakoted, and it's kind of hard to tell, but it's, you know, the sanding scratches, the haze there, it's just not good enough, man. Not good enough for me. I'm selling this car, but it's not good enough for me. So I went crazy and polished all that, what I just did, out again. And so took off that Cerakote coating because it looked bad, and I'm just gonna re-ceramic coat them with my normal ceramic coating because I thought that looked better than what these look like, even though that could potentially last longer. It would last longer looking worse. So anyways, so repolish out that normally, got rid of the coating. It looks good, much better. It's kind of hard to tell maybe on camera, but it's much better than this one is, in my opinion. So anyways, I'm gonna polish out the other one now. Get kind of, you know, I'm gonna get crazy, but I'll see you guys at the roof again. All right. Alright guys, so quick update here. So far I've polished out the roof, the portion of the hatch there, as well as the A-pillars, and now I'm working my way over to the top of the spoiler. I don't really know how I'm going to polish these pillars, and I don't think I want to because it's still new paint, and I feel like I would do more damage trying to get in there than just leave it as is. So I'm going to polish the top of the spoiler, and then from there probably knock out the mirrors and then work my way down the sides then to the front. Now I want to point something out. It is 97 degrees inside my garage. The outdoor reading, it's not 100%, it's not 122, it's probably like 105 outside. So I opened up my house door, threw a fan there. I need to do something about the heat because it's so bad, guys, that I've been soaking my hat in water. I have a neck fan on, and it's just impossible to stay cool. So I'd rather pay the money trying to essentially cool down my garage to make this happen. And so anyway, so far so good. I'm gonna keep at it, not gonna do a whole lot of talking. I've just basically been using a foam pad with last cut compound here. It kind of one steps it, makes it look really nice. And then the same thing for the pillars. I'm gonna probably one step the spoiler, and then I will break out the wool pads and foam pads for the sides of the car, as those are gonna have the biggest improvement. So, all right, let's keep going. All right, so the driver's side and passenger side is finally completed. Two-stepped to close to perfection. It actually looks pretty damn good. Check out that rear quarter right there. That is some glossy, saucy, if I say so myself. That looks pretty damn good. So really all that we have left is the front bumper and rear bumper, and this thing will be done and ready to coat. I mean, it's looking pretty awesome. Front bumper, I'm gonna do the best I can. Rear bumper should actually turn out relatively well. I'll probably just go in there with a 3-inch polisher and a foam pad and see what I can do. But overall, we are one step closer to a coating. I'll be able to close the hood and then jump into that. So I'm having a good time, minus the heat. Right now, I wanna say the whole AC blowing through the door has got this thing down to 95, which is 2 degrees cooler than before, but you know what? I'm gonna take it because that's all I can do, right? So let's knock out that front bumper and rear bumper. My neck, my back, my Netflix, and my snacks. Holy smokes, guys, I am pretty tired. And I'm extremely hot, but we're getting this thing done. So, all the polishing is finished. Now, some of you might notice that are, really detail-oriented, that I did not polish out the Mugen kit. I went through the Scan Grip Light. It looked great. There's really no reason for me to polish it. I'm just gonna panel wipe it and then lay on the coating. The paint should be well cured by now. Considering how hot it's been lately, I think it's totally fine. I just didn't think it needed to be polished. Honestly, it looked fine to me. So with that said, we're gonna be panel wiping the entire car now that everything has been completed. And so this is gonna be the paint prep step before the coating. So for this, we are gonna spray some of our Razzle Dazzle here into a microfiber towel and then give a couple mists on the paint everywhere that we're gonna be coating, and then go through the towel and start wiping it up. What this is doing is removing any of the residual kind of, compound polish that we are using to make sure that the coating sticks much better. And so you wanna put this everywhere that you're gonna coat. So all the painted surfaces, any type of trim that you're wanting to coat, all that jazz. So we're gonna go through, time lapse this, knock it all out, and then I'm gonna grab the coating, grab my applicator, and we're gonna start laying down some of that delicious gloss, that delicious sauce. Let's get it done. All right, so small change of plans. I did a small test spot with the G-Technic C1, and because of the heat in this garage right now, it was going on like glue. And yeah, I'm not having that. So we're gonna use the G-Technic XO topper instead. It's still gonna last about 2 years. It's got a lot more slickness. It's got a lot more hydrophobic properties. It was gonna go on the car anyways, but there's no point in putting on a coating that's gonna go on like glue and potentially ruin my finish here. So we're gonna be using just the XO product. So for this, we're gonna crack this open, toss that cap behind us. I marked the other side of my pad here where I did use the C1, and I'm gonna use XO on this side and just get some of that onto the pad. And then for this, take it to the vinyl and you'll see exactly where you're applying it. It's gonna go on a little bit darker, and we're gonna cross hatch that. And holy smokes, even this is, we have to work fast. This stuff is already like setting up on the surface, which is not what we want. So we're gonna instead go much faster, making sure we have even coverage here, which we do. Take our towel and then begin buffing that off. That looks pretty good to me. Good, and no high spots or anything like that, because basically you don't want a high spot on a coating because you're gonna notice it. It's gonna look like a darker area where something has been wiped on and not properly wiped off, and you can't get it off unless you compound it out. So that's pretty much it, guys. I mean, hopefully that was easy for you guys to see. If not, here we go. One more area here. I'll knock out this part of the hatch. Goes on dark. Make sure to get even coverage. Go left to right, up and down. And normally, when I'm applying this stuff, I can move on to another panel and then, continue working and then come back and wipe it off. But because of this heat, I'm watching it right now. It is going into that vinyl almost immediately. Whew, lesson learned, Anthony. Alright, so as many of you know, when it comes to working on vehicles, there's a lot of blood, sweat, and tears involved. But in today's case, it was sweat, and even more sweat. But we have a freshly polished and coated Honda CRZ, and it looks absolutely amazing. Towards the end there, I was getting a little stressed out, I'm not gonna lie. I was running out of coating, and also the lower I got in the car, the faster it was flashing off. So I'd apply it, and I had seconds to remove it. So I just took off the GoPro and got it done because there was no way it was gonna get done in this heat and in that time. So I don't know what else to say, guys. This thing looks awesome. It turned out so much better than expected. It is more than just a mere shine. It's got a lot of depth to it. The metallic looks amazing. The blue looks even more blue, and I love it. I think that this is the right coating for this car. It all worked out. I'm glad I didn't try to use the C1 stuff because it could have been bad and it could have been stuck in a very sticky situation. And I mean that literally. So spoiler looks amazing. The back here just is popping, that little bit of sunlight down there. It's still 90, I think 96 degrees in the garage here, so all the minor defects have been removed. There's a couple, deeper scratches here and there, but overall though, this paint is in fantastic condition. I really don't have much else to say other than I wish I would have done this earlier on in my ownership and enjoyed it the way it looks now because, I drove it around all scratched and swirled up. I mean, I was still a happy guy, but I mean, look at that metallic and look at that gloss. It's amazing. So what I'm gonna do from here, guys, I'm gonna let this set up and cure for a little while longer here in my hot garage. I'm gonna let it bake, literally. But then later tonight, I'm gonna whip this thing out and we're gonna take it somewhere and go get some aftershots just to show off how glossy and how good this thing actually looks. So, I'll see you guys in a bit. All right, guys, and here she is after all of our hard work. Well, technically my hard work on what could be the hottest day of the year. Probably not my best idea if I'm being honest, but you know what? It all worked out and the CRZ looks absolutely phenomenal. The flake in the paint is popping. The gloss looks absolutely insane. I am so happy with how this paint turned out. I mean, let me pull you guys in here just to show you. God, that looks incredible. It looks so good. That G-Technic XO looks good. It feels good. Yeah, this was just a ton of hard work, guys. I'm not gonna lie. I was kind of regretting it about halfway through. I was getting really tired. I was getting really hot, and I was thinking maybe I should do this another day, but you know what? Here we are, and the CRZ looks absolutely awesome. So giving you guys a gloss walk around of the CRZ, this thing is absolutely popping. God, it looks good, man. It looks incredible. I'm so happy with it. I wish I would have done this sooner in my ownership. If I'm being honest, I should have done this like first thing because it looks way too damn good. And I'm really glad I went over those headlights again because they weren't looking great after that cerakote. So going back over, getting rid of that, looks amazing as well. Gosh, I'm gonna miss this thing. I really, really am. So needless to say, I think I need a beer, a cold shower, and I want to sit in an air-conditioned room with a fan on me and just sit there and veg and do nothing and appreciate all the work I've done. So as always, guys, if you like my content and enjoy everything that I produce, please make sure to give me a big thumbs up. Subscribe down below for more, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Saul the Anthony. Peace.